Number 23, going along with the same we had before. How much closer to the library does Shannon live than Lisa? Well, if Lisa lives 2 3/4 miles and Sharon lives 1 1/3 or 1 3/5, we're going to have to subtract. She lives this far, she lives this far, we're going to have to subtract the two. Well, luckily for us, we already have converted those. Okay, and we're going to say 55 over 20 minus 32 over 20, because it's the same thing as saying, excuse me, 2 3/4 minus 1 5/5. Because again, all we're doing would be converting back to an improper fraction, and then finding the common denominator and going from there. Well, that's going to give us 23 over 20. Okay. Now all we have to do is convert that back to a mixed number. All right, it's going to be 23 in the house, 20 outside it. 20 will go into 23 once without going over 20, with a remainder of 3. That's going to leave us with 1. Our remainder goes on top here, and our denominator goes right there. And as you can see, that's choice B. Number 24. A rope measures 3.98 meters and is cut into 2 pieces. So 3.98. If one piece measures 1.425 meters, how long is the other piece? Well, the whole thing is just about 4 right here, right? And then we got another small piece cut off here. They want to know what is left. Well, in order to do that, the difference we have to subtract. Okay? So we're going to be with 3.98 minus 1.425. Well, we've noticed we have to line up our decimal place. You absolutely have to do that. Well, we've only got 2 after the decimal place here, and we got 3 here. So it means we need to add a 0 there. Well, we can't take 0 and subtract 5, so we have to change that to a 10 and make this into a 7. We have to borrow from that. That leaves us with 5 here. 7 minus 2 is another 5. 9 minus 4 is another 5. And remember, bring down our decimal place. In fact, I should have already done that. 3 minus 1 is 2. Leaving us 2.555 meters, which is choice A. Juan owes his dad $10.75. Then he repays $5.50 of it. Which of the following best represents Juan's debt to his father? Well, if he owes his dad this much and he gives him back this much, he still owes him a little bit. Okay? We're basically saying 10.75. Then we have to, this is his debt. Then we have to subtract that, $5.50, which leaves us with $5.25. Now, he still owes him that much money. Therefore, the best number to represent Juan's debt to his father would not be D. It would be C, because debt is usually measured in terms of negative numbers. 26A and B. Not quite sure if I had it exactly like that on your paper, but that's how we're going to go with it. 16 times 13. Sorry, negative 16 times a negative 13. Well, if you remember, anytime we multiply 2 negatives, we're going to get a positive. Now, you need to either remember that rule or you can remember another rule. You're either going to have, when you're multiplying, you're either going to have 2 negative signs or 0, which in this case means we've already got 2. We don't have room for a third one, so it's going to be positive. Or think of it like this. If you want to be cool and stay in school, learn your divide and multiply rules. Same signs, answer is positive. Different signs, answer is negative. Well, these are the same signs, so the answer is going to be positive. And what I like to do, I like to go ahead and write myself a little plus sign over there. That way I know it's going to be positive. That way I can do all my math, and when I'm done, if I forgot, I can just go back and say, oh yeah, I remember this answer, regardless of what it is going to be positive. So now all I have to do is multiply, because anytime we have two numbers next to each other like this, especially with the parentheses, that means you're supposed to multiply them. If there's no sign there, that means multiply. So I've got 16 times 13. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Plus 1 is 4. 0. This is 16 here. Leaves us with 8. 0, 1, and a 2. 208. Now I can't remember if it's positive or negative. Oh, but I've got my positive sign here. So you can either leave the positive sign off, you don't have to have it. But the answer is 208. Now, a different example, 100 divided by -4. Well, how many negative signs do I have so far? I've got 1. I only have room for one more, and I can't just have 1. I have to either have 2 or 0. Okay, and the same rules apply for division as apply for multiplication. Or, you see our song, if you want to be cool and stay in school, learn your divide and multiply rules. Same signs, answer is positive. Different signs, answer is negative. Well, this is positive, this is negative. Different signs, that more. The answer is going to be negative. Now all I have to do is do my division. 100 divided by 4. 100 goes in the house. 4 goes right here. The answer is 25. But I forgot what sign. Luckily for me, I put it right here. Negative 25. Now this problem right here can be very, very difficult and very, very complicated if you're not careful. What I like to do, again, is go ahead and ask myself, is the answer going to be positive or negative? Same signs, answer is positive. I'm going to go ahead and put my plus sign over here. That may, no matter what my math is, when I get done, the answer is going to be positive. Okay? Well, to make it easier, I need to go ahead and change that into a mixed number. It's going to make my life a lot easier. So I'm going to have 7 over 16 divided by 8 times 2 is 16 plus 3 is 19 over 8. Well, when we divide fractions, we can use keep, change, and flip, or we can just multiply by the reciprocal, whatever's easiest for you, whatever helps you remember. Keep, change, and flip. We're going to keep this the same. 7 over 16. We're going to change that division to multiplication. Then we're going to flip this guy over to its 8 over 19. Now you can do one of two things. You can go ahead and multiply on across, giving you 56. Giving you 56 over 304 and simplifying that. You can do it that way if you want. Or if you remember from class, we can cross cancel. I cannot cancel anything right here, but I can certainly cross cancel this. And you can treat this just like it's a fraction now. 18 over 16, which reduces down to 1 over 2. So you can mark that out, make that a 2, mark that out and make that a 1. Which leaves you with, and we'll go over here on the other side, 7 over 38. And that is as simple as we get. Now, if you reduce this, it will reduce back down to 7 over 38. Now, is it positive or negative? Now, you got to be careful. This is, luckily for us, it was positive, so the answer is positive. We will do number 28 in class. Number 29 has the potential to mess you up. But what I like to do is write this guy out as a full equation, do my order of operations, and then go from there. In 4 plays of football, a team gained 6 yards, so I've got 6 to start with. Then I lost 2.5. Then I gained 3 and 1 over 4. And then I lost 10. Now remember, I got 6 yards to begin with. I gained 6, so you can say plus 6 or just 6. I lost 2.5, so I'm saying minus 2.5. Then I'm gaining 3.25, and I'm losing 10. And I can just go in order from here. Now notice the answers are in decimals. So it might be good for you to go ahead and convert these to decimals if you want. It's completely up to you. You can keep them this way, it doesn't matter, which will make this, remember, 1 over 4 is the same thing as 1 divided by 4, and 1 over 2 is the same thing as 1 divided by 2. Now you'll have to do that math yourself. For the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and do it. 6 minus 2.5 plus 3.25 minus 10. Well, as you know, in the order of operations, subtraction is not superior or inferior to addition. So we just have to go, since we're just dealing with addition and subtraction, we're going to go from left to right. 6 minus 2.5 is 6 minus 2.5. Now guys, you got to be careful. You got to make sure you line up your decimal. In this case, you don't really have one, so you'll have to add it there. We'll borrow that, make that a 10, make this a 5. This is going to be, and bring your decimal down too. 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 minus 2 is 2.5. All right, so we're done with these guys, and we're left with 2.5 plus 3.25 minus 10. We're going to add right here, using the same logic we did before. This is going to give us 5.75. Now our new problem is 5.75 minus 10. I'm sorry, you'll have to forgive me. This was 3.5, sorry. This is going to give us 6.75. Sorry about that, guys. Now I'm left with 6.75 minus 10, which is going to be 3.25 negative. Because I've got a smaller number minusing a larger number. It's going to be negative 3.25. The answer is going to be B. More to come.